Hello, I am Edward Zwick, the director of the recent Warner Bros. Release, Blood Diamond. On behalf of the production crew and myself, I'll be analyzing some scenes and still frames of interest alongside an explanation of their intended purpose. Scene 1: Freetown Massacre. During the massacre and hostile takeover of Freetown, this scene takes place where Solomon and Danny are clambering to their feet and running to safety, while the surrounding civilians are gunned down indiscriminately. The camera work used in the sequence is shaky and unclear, with dust clouds obscuring the protagonists and the rest of the cast. This is done to convey the sense of panic that the characters are experiencing and the chaotic nature of the environment they are in. The chaos in this situation is reinforced through the sounds of gunfire and explosives destroying the environment. This sound works alongside the background track done by composer James Howard, which utilizes war drums and a high-tempo composition to create tension within the scene. Nearing the end of the scene, a mass of helpless civilians are running towards the city's military forces. A camera angle from the point of view of a soldier is used to show the forces in position to fire, despite only having non-combatants in sight. This foreshadows the atrocities they commit as they open fire on the people they were meant to protect, as they get swept up in the panic and are unable to distinguish between the RUF and the residents of Freetown. I felt the scene was necessary to show the difference in strength between the armed militia of the RUF and the official army of Sierra Leone, with the lawful force being brought to its knees showing the disorder of the country. Scene 2: Crossroads. The following scene depicts a fight breaking out between the two male protagonists, as Danny walks in the direction of the buried diamond while Solomon departs towards the direction of his stolen son. I felt the scene was incredibly important, as while they are initially walking in different directions, they are also at a metaphorical crossroads where their goals no longer coincide. As the fight breaks out, Danny quickly seizes the upper hand due to his training and experience as a mercenary. Once Solomon has a gun trained on him, we utilize two different camera angles, one looking up at Archer and one looking down at Solomon as he lays on the floor. This is done to show the power dynamic between the two characters. Although this dynamic has been established with Archer in control, Solomon continues to resist even with his life on the line for the sake of his son. As Danny drops his aim, second thoughts are apparent on his face as he begins to doubt the humanity of his actions. This scene was crucial to the growth of Danny as a character and serves as a turning point of his ideals and friendship with Solomon. Scene 3 and 4: Red Dirt. As Colonel Coetzee catches word of Archer's plans of betrayal, he calls for a meeting with the protagonist to discuss the acquisition of the pink diamond. An eye-level shot is used for this scene to show the Colonel trying to form a connection with Archer as equals in a relationship that is solely based on being a master and subordinate, as he references the ways he taught him how to live. The Colonel proceeds to grasp dirt with his hands and references the tribal beliefs of the Shona, specifically the red texture of the dirt being caused by spilled blood. He does this before leaving Archer with the sentiment that Africa is his home and he'll never escape it. The protagonist responds with agreement. While still lying about his intentions, Danny seems to question his odds of survival and escape. We use this scene as a foreshadowing of Danny Archer's inevitable fate, where at the climax of his story he proceeds to bleed out on the continent he swore to escape. Danny clutches the dirt in his hands as he adds to its hue and becomes one with the land. In his last moments alive, we used a low-angle shot looking up at him to show that although dying, Danny lacks regret in his final moments. Instead, a sense of relief as he escapes the hell he was trapped in one way or another. We felt that including this scene was paramount as it shows the helplessness of Archer's situation and closes his final chapter in an emotional sequence for the audience. Still image 1: Refugee Camp. This still image is taken from the visit of the refugee camp and the hunt to find Solomon's family. We used a high-angle shot which, while including the protagonist, makes them seem small and insignificant to the amount of suffering present before them. A long line is formed leading into the camp, which signifies that there is common and consistent occurrence for people to be driven out of their cities with no place to call home. This is done to show the audience that the strife that Solomon goes through is not unique and is widespread across the nation. Still image 2: Crying Child. After the military forces were subdued by the RUF, civilians were forced to hide in a building until an opportunity of escape presented itself. This still is taken from that moment as a high-angle shot is used to look down at the children to show their frailty and weakness. While both wear seemingly deadpan expressions, emotion is shown through the singular tear streaming down the face of the boy on the right. This signifies that although scared and confused, they cannot make sound or else it will cost everyone's lives. We felt that showing this aspect was important in nature as it shows the audience that even children must bottle themselves up for a chance of survival. Thank you for listening to my analysis. If you have not already, I hope you check out Blood Diamond.